You know what's nice about the splinter and the plank is even if you got splinters in your eye, you can still point out the planks in other people's, and then they can't come around and say, you splintered, splintered, splintered. It's like, yeah, I know, we're all born into this sin. Okay. Being born into sin was when they denied the faith of Jesus and they accepted eternal wretchedness over the kingdom of heaven by, not being born into human delusions of authority through popularity contests or people declaring themselves gods through violent sex cult behavior because they can kill you and you have trouble killing them, so that makes them God. And then something's wrong with the world when a little John Wilkes Booth can shoot Abraham Lincoln, when a little Lee Harvey Oswald can shoot Jack Kennedy. So something's wrong with the world. Well, yeah, because we're not living the faith of King Solomon, the faith of King David, the faith of Adam and Eve, right? Something's wrong with the world. Why do you need to kill somebody that you are jealous of when you're both given life by the glory of God, and all that you need to live holy covenants is given to you by God if you have humble understanding and you maintain balance and harmony and understanding, maintaining the Garden of Eden with faithful love? Then you can't Instaflex, okay? And Skyrizzy and all that crap, right? When we're living the Lord's Prayer, they can't sell you drugs to survive hell. They can't be rich and influential and powerful. And you don't have to listen to Bernie Sanders ever talk again. You have to listen to William Shatner sell you cereal in a box ever again. You'll like mines, and I'll show you how to make it, right? Melinda Michelle Bowen. She's an angel. She is. And so I've been thinking about a lot of the women in my life and just telling them how much I love them. I sat and I watched this movie last night on Propaganda made back in 2006. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't 2006. 1997, okay? And one more year, that movie's going to be 30 years old, okay? It was a movie about a Tejano singer, a Tejana, we ought to call her, right? A Tejana singer, okay, named Selena Quintanilla Perez, right? And she was murdered by her fan club president. And at the Grammy Awards, when Yoli didn't get to come, and she's her fan club president, right? She sits there and said, and this is for the fans, because we'd be nothing without you, right? So unless you're a famous person, you're nothing, right? And the fan club president heard that, right? And so I'm nothing, so she gets mad, she takes money. She already did it before, she's done it before, because she already feels like nothing. She's overweight, she can't sing, she can't dance, she's not considered physically desirable or attractive. And even if a man ends up marrying her and having sex with her, he's in, like what happened with my beautiful Maria Barnes, when she came over and said, no, he goes and watches porn with women he wants to have sex with, then comes in and has sex with me, and then after he's done, he goes and watches porn with the women he wants to have sex with. I said, God, the only time I ever watch porn is when I can't have sex with my wife, or who I'm having sex with, right? With Amy, I had to go watch porn because guys at Fort Huachuca who were having a dick measuring contest were having sex with my wife. And they all had bigger penises, so yeah. Well, they make sure of that, They're in the surveillance network. Oh, I've got a bigger dick than him. And even then, best sex I ever had in my life was with Ralphie, And the same thing, Rocky had told me that. Lots of women had told me that. No, I had better sex with you than I did with the guy with the big dick. Because he was aggressive, abusive, and mean. He was selfish. Okay. So, if it is a dick measuring contest to you, okay. If it is a dick measuring contest to you, and you're kind and loving and like King David, you too can be the Solomon of your house. Like my son, Patrick. What's your name? Patrick. No, it's Patrick. Will you stop saying that? Oh. Holy cow. I'm watching America's Funniest Home Videos. Yeah, it's sad. Well, you just sit and you watch these people, and they get in these archaic vehicles, and they take this thing called money, and they go stimulate economies, which causes heart disease, cancer, and mass murder. Okay? They build these inadequate shelters because they want to make lots of money off of building them, and they use inadequate resources not built to last like King Solomon or King David, because they want to stay in business and be great real estate moguls. Right? And so, and you have all these people, they're in the United States, they don't have it in Europe and stuff as much. Maybe they do, I don't know. I think they've rewritten it. Obama wanted to rewrite the Constitution because he wanted to take out all the referring to Jesus and God, because he didn't want to be held accountable to that standard, because they thought it was unattainable. It's unattainable to forgive debt. Yeah, because no one will do it. No one will agree to it. Well, I think most poor people will agree to it. I think the only people that won't agree to it is like Solomon said in Proverbs, it's wrong to acquit the guilty and deny justice to the innocent. The poor plead for mercy, the rich answer with insults. The wealthy are fools who perceive their wealth as a high wall of safety. Okay, he wasn't just spouting words. He was equating eternal mathematics. What you're going to be stuck in, what's going to happen with your poor baby, what's going to happen with you, what's going to go on if you continue down these courses of actions where you feel that you're human authority and your power and you can invent your own laws that try to circumvent what you need from the glory of creation to live faithfully, loving, and holy covenants. A little girl, she sneezed on her dad. She's combing fresh in his hair and she sneezed on him. They're so cute. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Oh, little kiddos are so cute. They're all cute. The girly girls and the boily boys. They're both cute. They're different. Noah would give you hugs. Yeah. Noah was a hugger, but he was always busy. That kid, man, you could never sleep. He's on top of that house, isn't he? He's getting in the fridge. He's eating all the Little Debbie snacking cakes, isn't he? In one setting, right? That was just Noah. And you'd be like trying to sleep, and you wake up in the middle of the night, right? And it'd be 3 o'clock in the morning. Dun, 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 dun. Even if he was asleep, it was still on. Dun, 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 dun. Superman, whatever he was watching, right? Robot Chicken. Heard this song Night Owl by the Little River Band? Well, that's my Noah. Yeah, he's a night owl. He just, he's totally nocturnal. And these kids are characters, man. I love them. One of these days, I'll have little grandkid types and like Kitty on a 70s show. Watching things on TV is, the other people being held hostage by a group of people that call themselves their government, right? And then having these lives, and it's like, yeah, we're not living the Lord's Prayer. Their lives are even more meaningless than mine is. Because I'm living an embodiment of the Lord's Prayer on a daily basis, anonymously on a social media network, trying to get everybody to stand up for the Lord's Prayer so technology doesn't have to be the police force to us not doing it, right? And so my life is far more meaningful than people that are really wealthy and had lots of sex with lots of different people that think they had the greatest sex in the world. It's like, you haven't lived the Lord's Prayer a day in your wretched fucking little horn dog life. What makes you think you have, good things going on with your life, And, oh, guys, they're so cute. Oh my gosh, there's another little baby back there. You go out. Your finger, got your finger crushed. Look out. Okay, there it goes open. And she's laughing. You're so cute. They're so cute. I love kiddos. Oh, they're so adorable. They're fun. They are. It's even more fun when you get those moments with people that need you in their lives, because you've been there since they were born. You know, I've been real depressed here for the last, I don't know. It's been a while, because I've been constantly connected to and I'm not letting go of my second wife and her daughters. The boy tunes me out real good, so I connect to video gaming to connect to him, and I do that with the boys. You know, technology. Both boys connect to technology to feel an aspect of control in their life. When they feel like everything's out of control with the women in their lives, it's like, well, that's because we're not living the Lord's Prayer. Son of a buck. But they have brain injuries. And I was born in 66, and one was born in 91, and the other one was born in 2000. So, and then Crummy was born in 2010. So that makes it a lot harder to have brain activity that is independent from the group that wants you to be part of the Borg. Right? Well, you got to do everything this way because that's how all the people on the Planet Fitness commercials do it, and all the people when you're sitting there watching like politics, okay? However you feel is the right way to engage in violent sex cult activity, that's what you do if you're not standing up for the Lord's Prayer and then Psalms and Proverbs. Okay, and that's what these people are doing. Okay? It's Dave Mason, man. Been away, haven't seen you in a while. How you been? Guess you change your style, and do you think that we've grown up differently? Right? This is to the fans. We'd be nothing without you. Don't seem the same. See, and they don't feel like anything if they don't have fans like old Britney Spears, and if they feel like nobody's paying attention to them, they feel like everything's out of control and they weren't what they used to be. You know, doesn't it seem like everyone's getting younger, baby? Guess you're gonna have to find yourself another pastime. Judging from the past, to know it won't be the last time. Why can't it be, I'm falling. Why can't it be more like a Jimmy Rogers song? You know. Well, I'm falling in love again. I thought that I wouldn't get caught again. Never in 100, never in 1,000. And now I'm a grandfather of 8 because she had kisses sweeter than wine. Back then, we weren't all trying to be celebrities. We were trying to find that pie in the sky summit of the perfect life, free from advertising. If you do Chevy advertising, that means you're probably a conservative. If you do RuPaul advertising, you're probably most likely a liberal. But some assholes get together and want to make a show of their sexuality with a bunch of excessive compulsive clothes, and that's how they make their money. Other peoples get together, drive cars. Okay, well, they cause the drag race people that don't drag race in cars cause less heart disease, but they cause problems in people's self-esteem. I can't dance like that. I don't look that good. Amy used to tell me that. Oh my gosh, I'm so fat and ugly. RuPaul looks so much better in that than me, till he takes off his clothes and his dick falls out. Okay. And his butt that's like a guy's butt and doesn't look. It's like, no. And then she did the same thing with Borat and Asmat. She was like, you're nothing like Asmat. You're full figured, but trust me, Asmat does not turn me on at all. Neither does Borat, but Borat probably turns you on. But as far as me with. You don't look nothing. I had to keep convincing her of that. I'm all fat like Asmat. No, that's a big hairy guy with no. No, baby. And she kept freaking out when we saw that scene. I'm like, why? And I think it has to do with people watching her. Okay, and the women I had sexual access to, you got to understand, I was the best athlete in the history of my generation, in the world. I'm the most intelligent human being in my generation that I know of. There might be other people as intelligent as me. I just have yet to have met them and had a good conversation with them where I don't have to sit and kind of explain things to them. I've had lots of people tell me, like that Jehovah's Witness me, oh, I was where you were at 10 years ago. I was like, yeah. So how hard was it shutting down human trafficking at Fort Huachuca all by yourself, teaching it to the president and all the televangelist preachers? When you sat there and broke 5 federal laws in 2 minutes with the president and all of the Pentagon watching, because you took a woman who was considered human contraband and illegal and tried to get her to sanctuary at an Episcopal church. Well, now we're going to the moon again, and the answers to the stars are up there. Everybody says something that's like, gets caught up in the group, and it's like, and then Haile Selassie shows up and goes, no, why are you going to space? I don't know. Are we living the Lord's Prayer here? No, we're not. Well, then why do you want to go to space? You know, like Goldblum said in that joke, you know, so we can take our dysfunction other places. We're totally dysfunctional. We have no global unity movement. We're totally just, you know, as a large group, insane. And yet we want to leave the planet and take that insanity to Marvin Martian, right? And destroy the Earth, right? It's nuts. Yeah, it is. It's insane. Trust me. But yeah, I was watching that movie. It was a totally different thing last night. Of course, yeah, well, you know, that's why she got the role. When you look at her lips, especially when she's standing up for John, not Chris, John, right? He loves me and I love him. You look at her and stuff and she's talking and you're like, you're all Diana Ross. Half the words she said to me were missing because my mind was so intent on kissing. I got to take a little time to... You can't help it. She has really nice lips, right? You're like, God dang, she's got nice lips. Yeah. But so did the lady from the Uber thing with the guy that got caught speeding and threw her and her kids out in El Paso the other day. She was talking, I was like... Maybe he was doing stuff stupid to try to, I don't know, that's not a way to, but maybe he doesn't, I don't know. But I was like, she has such nice lips. Doesn't she have nice lips? Anybody else agree with me on that one? She has nice lips. She has nice lips. And a little girl that was filming the Uber driver that had the lawyer. Well, this is, okay, you know the best way to be a lawyer? Understand natural laws, because we now have artificial general intelligence and quantum computing. And so if you call yourself a lawyer, and you have an invention called money that mass murders people, this may be the worst time in history to call yourself a lawyer if you're doing things and saying, get the justice and the money you deserve. Stand up for the Lord's Prayer, because the Lord is always with us and always alive. It's in the Bible. Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. It's in the Quran. Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. It's Albert Einstein. They didn't explain Albert Einstein to you that way. Because, dude, I'm on YouTube, and I don't have 4.7 or 4.7 billion views. Do you understand? And I'm a lot like Krishnamurti and Suzuki and Sun Yat-sen and Haile Selassie. And I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 view, 2, 3 view, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay? Only a few views, right? And you got to understand, Europa, the Roman Republic, okay, in order to have delusions of human power and authority through popularity contests called elections, need to make sure that Jesus and Solomon are mythology and never see the light of day here on planet Earth to maintain their brain chemical addiction. That's the way you can have sex with porn stars and everybody say how hip and cool you are, because you're what Ice-T says everybody wants to be. Ice-T's full of shit. He's a dumbass. He's a doctor for cars and shit. Oh, that poor guy, man. He's getting attacked by mosquitoes. Yeah, I'd stop fishing, bro. I'd get my boat the hell out of there and I would go somewhere else. There's no way. I'd get me some money and go to a burger joint. I get the hell up on out of there. Oh my goodness. Kids and dogs. Toby used to do this with my kid. Well, he didn't do that, but he used to herd my kids back into the room where they... He was a dingo. He was pretty cool. I got upset when we had to get rid of him. The landlords were such fucking idiots. The drunk guy next to me. Well, the drunk guy next to me, Amy had a lot to do with it. She would have parties and stuff. and how with the kids, and said, "Shh, don't tell Dad," and stuff. And Natalie finally did. Natalie, that's when Amy threatened Natalie pretty heinously and was real mean to her. Yeah. And then told her that I wasn't her biological dad. I wanted to tell Natalie from the time she was real young. Amy didn't want to. And when Natalie betrayed Amy by telling me about what was going on when I was at work, Amy got real mad at her and threatened her, and then told her, he's not even your real dad. That's how we told Natalie that I wasn't her biological father. Was Amy was mad because Natalie, quote, betrayed her, because Natalie told me the things that were going on when I was at work. Because Natalie cared. Because I was the good parent. It's same thing, Arlene Chi. Yeah. Same thing had happened with Patrick. And Arlene she's a psychology major. And I was like, he gets this homophobic stuff. She goes, and it frustrates me because I tell him to respect and don't do that. She goes, and that's not it. It has nothing to do with homosexuality. It's just his anger to it. But he wouldn't feel that way about her if she was just a better parent. He just sees you as the more appropriate parent. And I said, yeah, that's true. Okay, thanks. And that's what Arlene was like. So it doesn't really have anything to do with her sexual orientation. If she was homosexual and had another homosexual in the house that was a good parent, he wouldn't be homophobic at all. He's homophobic because they're not being good parents. They're not being good to children. And that's because me and Amy got on him about that too. It's like, Patrick, we didn't raise you that way. Amy's the wannabe Madonna of all the gays at her high school, at Independence High School. And yeah. She's the fag hag queen. She's funny. But yeah, that's Amy, right? And so, yeah. And so, she was the defender of all homosexuals at her high school, yeah. And so she was an Episcopalian. But that's where you take contraband that are considered a piece of sexual property from Mexico to the building that will, they're liberal. They got liberal money. They got home member network, T-Mobile. My job is just correct everything. I'm a living correction to improper and selfish thoughts, language, and actions. I'm the way, the truth, and life. Adam Moses David Sean. When I tell people that, they say, you're not God. I never said I was God. I said I was the living correction to people that take God and turn God into a bastardized possessive pronoun first person in their head, accepted from a comic book factory they call the Vatican, that mass murders people over money and gives us comic books so we can't live real religion. I'm the living correction. I'm like Muhammad and Haile Selassie. Or you can go get your revoke. 1 pill daily. Park the cars, bars, and wars. Don't be driving around in these cars and play tennis with all these cars going around. Don't be getting in a big fire truck putting out fires because other people are driving cars everywhere for economic manipulation. Then see if you need Winvoke. Then see if you need Jardiance. Then see if you need your Discovery. Okay? Stop fucking yourself and others first. Then see if you need your drugs. Okay? If you need your Roe boner pills or your Blue Chew and all the rest of that bullshit. The only reason I look like I do, guys, I'm going to be 60. Okay? And if Fort Bliss and all these assholes around here hadn't been jealous of me, I have women in their 20s and 30s coming around going, I choose you, Aladdin. Because they'd smell the pheromones. I'd be strong, healthy, clean, and whatever. It's like, I want to make love to you all night long, too. I do, too, Mary Jane girl. I do, too. I wouldn't care if the girl if she wanted to stand up for the Lord's Prayer of me. Okay. I wouldn't care if I was 60 and she was 33. That would be the girl for me. Right? Because the one that loves you is the one that wants to live love. Okay? If people are not truthful, they're not faithful. And if they're not faithful, they use the word love a lot to make money and be a sex icon for propaganda. Okay? And so you get all these people. I was watching this commercial with a man named Morgan Freeman. that man, he's Jay. All Jay do is front and lie, right? That's all he does. He played God with Jim Carrey in a warehouse in Buffalo, New York, cleaning up the floors because everything's a mess. But he didn't break 5 federal laws in 2 minutes trying to save a woman from being sexual property to coyotes that have their jobs because the people at Fort Huachuca and at Fort Bliss still want to do their quote jobs. And we're all getting jobs because nobody's like Job and me. I'm the living correction. You're welcome. Thank you. Y'all like that. That's you. That's all the people at Fort Bliss, White Sands, NASA. That's y'all. Right there. Sun Yat-sen nailed you all, didn't he? That's funny. Ain't it though? Hey, Alfonso. Okay. Do Tom Jones. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to go out at any time. Yeah, it's not unusual to see me cry. Oh, I want to die. Anybody else like that song? It's one of my favorites of his, yeah. My kids like What's New Pussycat the most. Green Grass of Home, he does a good job of that too. He also does a really good job of Nas Que Nada. He's a good singer. Yeah. Well, Tom Jones, Mr. Tom and his Jones, he's got a bigger dick than me, so he won that contest. Carol. It's not unusual to go out at any time. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. But when I see you, and it's such a crime. Yeah, it's a good tune. I'll have to put it on my MP3. I have to go into my list. My list is getting long. I just ain't been on the computer in a while. It takes so long. You know, everything good you asked it to do something. It's like asking a 10-year-old to clean their room. You ask a 4-year-old, okay, they're going to help. They're not going to be much help, but they're going to want to help. 10-year-old, seriously, Dad? Oh, poor baby, the doors are so poor. My gosh, my poor baby girl. Oh, she fell down the hole. Poor little girly girl. Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace.